So hello, my beautiful people. Good evening. Welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. I have not filmed today. We have been busting our chops, people. This little family is busting their chops off. We are working so hard. So I looked so awful. I said, Lord help, we gotta take a shower. So I told James, I said, hang on a minute. We're gonna talk to the people because there's something I've actually been wanting to talk to you about for a couple of days. So I'm gonna do that right now. What we're doing this weekend, it's Friday afternoon. I hope you had a great week. You're busy, you've been busy. And you're gonna have a great weekend. Yes, you are. Just keep lining up all the things you've got to do. We have mowed, we have pulled, we have trimmed, we have mulched. Sister! Oh, there's my girlfriend. She's my new girlfriend, aren't you, girl? She loves running up and down the driveway. I'm in the midst also of watching my goat girls a lot right now, guys. We think that we are set to possibly start seeing babies pretty much the very end of October. But that's not set in stone because Rip, my registered Nubian buck, has been with the herd pretty much. Well, he still is with them. So I think we're going to see babies starting on, let's just say, Halloween Day, October 31st, and we could see them all the way up to Thanksgiving, maybe into December. We're just going to have to go with it, guys. So we are really watching. I've got a couple of, come on, Ginger. Here comes Ginger. I've got a couple of girls that that have progressed a lot quicker and more so than others. But I also have some new mommies as well. So see, they can trick you. They can totally trick you and trip you out. I've had that happen before where I wasn't sure if it's like, what are you expecting when you're expecting? But are you expecting? And then you come back later that afternoon and poof, she's dropped 2 kids right there on the ground. I mean, it's just amazing. So you have to watch, especially the new girls. If you've got new goatee girls and you think that they might be bred, you better watch them because a lot of times they really don't show the udder development, the vulva development. They just don't really show much of anything at all until poof, right at the time. And then after they give birth, then everything comes in. But here's the problem. Some new mommies are not as good as being mommies as others. So, you really need to watch the time of year. If they have been able to connect, that they did that, and that they need to tend to the baby, tend to the goat kid, tend to it, clean it, try to dry it up, especially in cold weather. So that's just a little bit of tidbit of information. What I'm doing right now, I'm coming up here where the goats are. Hi, Ginger. Come on, Ginger. Ginger, you gonna be up in this too? Of course she is. So what I'm doing right now is I bought new copper boluses. I'd like to give my goats copper at least once a year, at least. I give them, they have constant minerals, kelp, etc. But I'm just making sure that we're doing everything. So we're making sure they're really eating well, getting up and moving, getting their minerals, and that we're progressing on everything that they need. That was a lot of talking. Look here. Look. Sister and Gingy. They're so sweet. So I want to talk about this really briefly, because we've talked about this before. Let me get you cats. We've talked about this before, and this is a tough subject, okay? But I'm not going to beat around the bush simply because of the time frame that I think that we are in, and because of how critical I think times are that we are in. So let's just get to it. So you can see right here, this is one of my deer paths. You'll see deer come down through here. I've got all kinds of mamas and babies right now. So speaking of mamas and babies. So I do see this from time to time. I see comments and questions that come from folks, followers. It does tend to come more from women than it does men, but I have seen guys make these comments before. So I'm going to address this. I'm just going to be blunt. I'm not going to beat around the bush. In times past where I have addressed this, you know, I always have to give this little like caveat of, you know, do what works best for you. Of course, you should know that you're an adult watching this channel, so do what works best for you. Please be careful in your decisions. You should know that. Hello. Be responsible financially with whatever you need to do today or whenever. Have an open relationship in talking about things with your spouse. You guys should be on board together in terms of preparing for hard times. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say you know all these things and that I've, again, repeated that and we're good. So basically what it's boiling down to is I'm seeing a lot of individuals, mostly women, talk about how upset they are or how frustrated they are because they are concerned about what's going on. They don't feel comfortable where they are financially or in terms of their preparedness. They're worried about their kids. And here we go. Do you drop the bomb on me? Baby, okay, I'm dropping the bomb, boom. But their spouse isn't on board with them. Okay, well, this is sort of one of those moments where you may not like my advice, okay? So, again, you got to take what you want to take. You got to chew the fat that you want, throw the bones away, and figure out, you know, if what I'm telling you works for you or figure out what you want. Let me put it to you this way. Patera probably wouldn't be married to James at this point in the game if he hadn't had an awakening up until this point, and that we were fighting, or if he was belligerent and putting me down with me trying to have extra food in the pantry, or me trying to have concerns about getting out of debt. I'm just saying to you as Patera only, as an individual Patera, that if my husband was not on board with me, with all of the things that we have been doing over the last 15 years. In other words, if I had been concerned all the way up to this point and he was still like, no, and let's even go a little further and say that maybe he was verbally or emotionally abusive to the idea or fact of me wanting to put more food away or to be more prepared, Patera probably wouldn't be married to James. I'm just saying. I'm not telling you women out there or you men out there to make that same decision, but what I am saying is, let me put it to you this way. There ain't nobody, nowhere, no how that coulda, shoulda, woulda stopped me at this point, actually long time ago, from learning self-defense, having extra food on the shelf, paying off my debts, just the very basics of the things to ensure that you have a better chance of getting through hard times, especially if you have children. I'm sorry, that to me, that is not a compatible situation. Now, some people are just saying that their spouse is wonderful, they love them, yada, 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 but they're not awake. Well, I'm going to say something, and it's going to, I have a strong opinion about this, and it's probably going to offend somebody because people don't want to hear this. I can't imagine being married to a man at this, a dude that calls himself a man, a father that is not doing the very best that he can right now to set up his home and homestead to be more self-reliant, that isn't working as many hours as he can get, that isn't saying, yeah, babe, okay, I'm going to go do this today. My husband calls it, we divide and conquer, because sometimes we have so many chores on our list and projects and things to do that we have to split ways. He goes this way and Gabriel goes with him and helps him. I go over here and do this, and Bo's over here doing that, and you know, whatever. That's how this family works. It's sort of a divide and conquer deal all the time here. I can't imagine going to Aldi and picking up extra cans of rice and beans, or beans and rice and extra things to put on the shelf, and come home and I get verbally attacked, because I have had women tell me that they have problems with their spouse, literally, verbally, and emotionally, I hope not physically, putting them down and talking down to them because they want to pay off debt or be more prepared. I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to say it. Folks, if you are married to someone who is abusive to you psychologically, emotionally, physically, they're controlling, or they're just a bunch of crazy narcissistic individual or whatever, right now, as my husband would say to you, if they treat you like this right now, when times are it's tough, but we're stable, what's it going to be like when the poop hits the fan? That is actually my husband's very own response to, let me put it to you this way, because he's actually said this before on video and I've repeated it. He actually will say, is that somebody you want to go into the apocalypse with? So that's what I think. I would not be if my spouse was good and was just indifferent and was like whatever, well then nothing would stop me from doing anything and everything that I need to do. I know that it is discouraging to think that your spouse isn't on board with you. And it breaks my heart to see certain comments about that, even from men too. What I hope and pray is that you guys might need some counseling. You might need to talk to your pastor, or maybe you getting up and doing and going, and doing these things, hopefully will turn on a light bulb for your spouse, because they're going to be like, what are you doing? And they might be like, what? So what I'm basically saying is, maybe you will lead them by example yourself. You saying, no, I don't want to go out to eat. I'm going to cook spaghetti tonight, and we're going to save this money, and we're going to do X with it. It may be your calling to more so lead by example, to lead your spouse. But to answer short and sweet, what would I do? Well, it would depend on the situation, obviously, but nothing would stop me from doing my very best to do whatever I felt I needed to prepare my home, my pantry, things for my children, things for my cat, whatever, maybe pay off an extra credit card. I don't know. This is a very broad brush answer to a very broad brush question, because everybody's scenario is so different. No, but I wouldn't be sitting back and doing nothing. God has called you, in my opinion. If you are preparing for hard times and doing all of these things, I personally think that you have been chosen to be one of those people to do so. And maybe your calling is to lead your spouse in that direction. But you know exactly what you need to do, and I want people to be safe. But furthermore, to me, if somebody is going to get mad at you for trying to pay off debt, to be responsible and trying to stock up as best you can, when you can, etc., and they're abusive to you, even if it's just verbal abusive or emotionally abusive, I hate to tell you, but you got other problems other than they just don't agree with you preparing. You know that, and I know that. And honestly, I would be preparing, but I would be finding ways to remedy the problems in your relationship very quickly. Because if they're going to put you down because, you went and bought extra cans of soup today. Now, remember, I'm not saying if you all are $100,000 knee deep in debt and you're blowing money buying gold and silver, which is not blowing money, but you don't have things lined up in the order that it should be as far as being responsible, and you're just out spending money and you're not organized, well, then they might fuss at you. But I'm saying, if you've got your ducks in a row and you're really trying, and they are abusive to you emotionally, verbally, controlling, all of the things that do not make a happy marriage, then like I said before, you've got other problems that you need to fix. And as James said it best, is that somebody you want to go into an apocalypse with? Might want to think about that, might want to pray on that, might want to talk to your pastor and have a lot of open communication, because I know if my husband came to me and said, listen, this is where I'm thinking we need to be doing. I'm concerned about you. I'm concerned about the children. I'm concerned about us keeping our home. I'm concerned about us being well fed. I'm concerned about us being stable. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. I just can't imagine if somebody honestly, whether it's male or female, goes to their spouse and has this very open, responsible conversation, and all you get is a tongue lashing. Yeah, there's some problems there. You might want to get those resolved. Be safe, okay? Be safe, ladies, especially. Guys, you too. I know what it's like to... I can tell you about women with a temper. But I think guys are going to have an easier time with, most likely, because I think women tend to want to feel more secure with these types of things than men do. Not that these problems don't happen with men versus women, because like I said, I've seen some guys say, my wife doesn't want to believe in this at all. You know, actually what I think that is, I could be wrong, but she's in denial because she's scared. Dudes can be in denial because they're scared too, but there could be other factors. So this is a big subject. Talk to your spouse, pray on it, but at the end of the day, nah. Ain't nobody stopping me from taking care of me, my family, my kids. And somebody that's not willing to step up to do that for their own children and farm and family and spouse or whatever, well, what are they caring about them these days? Might want to evaluate that. All right, I hope this video finds you well. I hope that it's being taken in the way that I am intending for it to. I gotta get back and finish my list for all my goats that I need to continue to give their treats to, and we're trying to just continue to prepare daily. Love you guys. I hope you have a great weekend coming up. Busy, busy, busy. Stay there, okay? Love you so much. Have a good weekend. Stay the course. Keep praying. Keep prepping. You know what you need to do. Like, subscribe, and share. Godspeed. And we'll see you on the next video.